So what if you could predict the future? I'm not talking about a crystal ball, but right there on your factory floor. What if you knew, really knew, that a machine was about to fail and you could fix it before it ever breaks? Well, that's not science fiction. That's the promise of a powerful philosophy called total productive maintenance, especially when it joins forces with the incredible technologies of Industry 4.0. Let's dive in.
First things first, let's get real. Every single time a machine unexpectedly grinds to a halt, or a product comes off the line with a flaw, or a preventable accident happens, it's more than just an annoyance. It's like having a slow, silent leak in your tire. It might not feel like a crisis in the moment, but it's constantly draining the life out of your operation, deflating your profits day after day.
So, to fight these profit leaks, you've got to know where they're coming from, right? In the world of manufacturing, these problems are usually bucketed into what are called the 6 big losses. These are pretty much the main culprits that are stealing your time, your materials, and your money. And understanding them is the absolute first step to getting rid of them for good. And here they are. You've got the big one, unexpected breakdowns, the one everybody sees. Then there are the sneakier ones, like setup and transitions, all that time lost just switching from one job to the next. You've also got short-term stoppages and reduced operation speed, when the machine is technically running but just not as fast as it could be. And finally, you've got production quality issues, all that scrap and rework, and startup losses from the time it takes to get a process running smoothly. These 6 areas, they're the exact targets of a really revolutionary approach to manufacturing.
And that philosophy is called total productive maintenance, or TPM for short. And honestly, it's a complete shift in mindset. It asks a really simple but profound question. Why are we waiting for things to break? Instead of being experts at fixing things, what if we became experts at preventing them from ever failing in the first place?
At its heart, TPM is all about shooting for a really bold goal, perfect production. And yeah, that means 0 breakdowns, 0 defects, and 0 accidents. The only way you even get close to that is by flipping the traditional model completely on its head. Maintenance is no longer the job of a few specialists tucked away in their own department. Instead, it becomes a crucial part of everyone's daily job. This idea right here, this is the engine that drives all of TPM. It totally transforms machine operators. They're no longer just people who push buttons. They become true owners of their equipment, empowered to care for it. And that creates this amazing, proactive, problem-solving culture right where the work gets done. This chart just perfectly captures the 2 different worlds. On one side, you have the old-school reactive maintenance. Its main question is, how fast can we fix this? It treats maintenance like a chore, a necessary evil, basically a cost center. But on the other side, you have proactive TPM, which asks, how can we make sure this never fails again? And that single shift transforms maintenance from a cost you have to endure into a massive competitive advantage. Okay, so how do you actually do this stuff? It's not just a nice idea. It's a highly structured system. It all starts with building a solid foundation, and then it's supported by 8 key pillars that guide the entire process.
And that whole structure starts with a foundation called 5S. The logic is so simple. You just can't maintain complex machinery in a chaotic, disorganized workplace. It's impossible. So by sorting, straightening, shining, standardizing, and sustaining, you create a stable, predictable environment that is absolutely essential for TPM to even have a chance of succeeding.
Now, once you have that solid 5S foundation in place, you build these 8 pillars on top of it. Think of these as the action plans that bring the whole philosophy to life. They cover everything, from empowering operators and planning out maintenance to guaranteeing quality, improving safety, and even taking these ideas beyond the shop floor and into the office.
For most organizations, the journey begins with this first pillar, autonomous maintenance. And why is that? Because it gets your frontline workers involved right away. When you empower operators to handle the routine stuff, the cleaning, inspecting, lubricating, it frees up your highly skilled maintenance techs to focus on the really complex, high-value problems. It just builds such a strong base for the entire system. All right, now this is where it gets really cool. Imagine taking this proven, people-focused philosophy and giving it superpowers. That is exactly what is happening right now as TPM merges with the technologies of what we call the 4th Industrial Revolution, or Industry 4.0.
Think about it this way. TPM gives you the culture, the discipline, the teamwork. And Industry 4.0 comes in and provides the incredible tools, the eyes, the ears, the analytical brain that let us see inside our machines like we never could before.
So how does this actually work? Well,
Picture tiny IoT sensors on your equipment acting like a nervous system, constantly feeling for the smallest changes in vibration or temperature. They're streaming all this data to a powerful AI brain that's analyzing it in real time, looking for subtle patterns that signal a failure is on its way, long before any human could possibly notice. This is the birth of predictive maintenance.
And this is a total game changer. We're moving away from wasteful maintenance based on a calendar, fixing things whether they need it or not. Instead, we can step in with surgical precision at the exact right moment, just before something goes wrong. It's the ultimate shift from just preventing to intelligently predicting.
So, the big question, what does all this really mean for the business? When you combine the collaborative culture of TPM with the predictive technology of Industry 4.0, the results are huge. They are measurable, and they go straight to your bottom line.
The first, and maybe the most important impact, is on overall equipment effectiveness, or OEE. This is kind of the ultimate report card for a factory. It measures how often your machine is available, how fast it runs, and the quality of what it makes. Now, a lot of places struggle around 60% OEE, but world-class TPM operations, they are consistently hitting 85%, even 95% or higher. That's a massive difference.
Second, you see a huge drop in costs. And it's just common sense. It is always cheaper to prevent a failure than it is to fix one after it happens. By making that shift from reactive to proactive, companies typically see their total maintenance bill drop by anywhere from 15 to 30%.
And finally, there's the ultimate goal, the true North Star of any TPM program, the pursuit of zero. Now look, perfection is a high bar, but a mature TPM culture is just relentless in driving towards zero accidents, zero defects, and zero breakdowns. And that creates a workplace that isn't just more profitable, but one that's fundamentally safer and more stable for everybody.
And this isn't just some theory. Check out this real-world example. It's from a spare parts manufacturer in Egypt. After they implemented TPM, their OEE jumped from 65% all the way to 76% in just 3 months. It just goes to show you how quickly a focused effort can deliver real, tangible results.
Okay, so you might be thinking, this sounds amazing, but where on earth do we start? This is definitely a marathon, not a sprint. And it begins with a clear, step-by-step plan to build momentum and make sure this whole thing actually sticks for the long haul. The trick here is to think big, but start small. First, you absolutely have to get your leadership on board. Then, instead of trying to change the whole factory at once, just pick one critical machine for a pilot project. Restore that machine to its absolute peak condition, apply all the principles, and then prove the value with cold, hard data. That success story is what creates the energy you need to roll this out everywhere else. It's a multi-year journey for sure, but it all starts with that one successful first step.
So, it really all boils down to this one question. Is your maintenance strategy stuck reacting to the past, or is it actively predicting the future? Because in today's world, combining the people-powered culture of TPM with the predictive power of Industry 4.0, well, that's not really an option anymore. It's the new definition of excellence. The only question left is, are you going to lead that change, or are you going to be left behind by it?